Alright guys, we're back with variant 6. So let's go through all the bosses and we'll talk about the chapters as we go. So basically it's all about the villains. So here you've got Rhino, he's got Mastermind here for villain attackers, their increased bleed duration, there's also explosive personality, so you just can't hit into his block, which can be a little tricky for Rhino. I took one of the more, I don't know, it seemed like a difficult path, but like a poison path. And I'm trying to get use of my new 6-star Apocalypse. So I actually went up the left side. I did the first fight with Apocalypse. I brought the cable synergy so that he would have 4 genetic charges after his first fight. And I made Omega Red a horseman and let him go through the entire path on the left side, which was like a poison path. And then I just used Magneto here for the final boss. And I do get hit a couple times in this one. You just have to be careful of his unstoppable, and you can't really hit into his block. So it's mainly, you do have to try and get lucky with the parries, or at least try to push him over a couple bars, like a bar and a half of power, so that when you do attack back in, you're pushing him back to a bar of power every time, so that you can kind of get into a good rotation like that. And I get it, for the most part it works out okay. There I take a combo, but then after that, if you're close to Rhino, then he's not going to get the full, then he typically doesn't get the unblockable. It kind of has to be a bigger dash, I find. So if I'm right up close, then he's not going to get the dash, and he's not going to get the unblockable. So, it worked out pretty good. I still haven't done much more other than the first path, but obviously the villains in here are completely overpowered. So you can skip ahead to the next one, but this one went pretty smoothly. So I'll see you in the next fight. Okay, we're on to the next one, chapter 1.2. This one here is a Venom cheese fest. So basically, if he has an armor up, he's going to be draining power. If he's a villain and he puts an armor break on, then he's going to be passively power locked. So you basically can cheese these guys in the corner. I'm really terrible at it for some reason, and whatever it is, whether it's the inputs or I'm not fast enough. I do it in this fight, but I kind of don't, I don't usually, I'm not great at cheesing in the corner. But I brought Doom with Mr. Sinister, so you get an armor break on the heavy. You throw a, a Nihilus in there with Dr. Doom, and now he's critting on every single heavy, as long as they have that stagger on. And Venom is just a monster. My Venom's only at 455, and he more than does his fair share of work on this pass. So you can see here, you can just put him against the wall and just go heavy chain berserk in the corner. There are definitely times where I would do this, and like you can see here, the kind of every time I was doing a heavy, it kind of moved me further and further away from him, so I wasn't able to keep the heavy chain going in the corner. But he's power locked, so it doesn't really matter. So as long as you keep up the armor breaks, then he's power locked the entire fight, and it's just ridiculous. So here I know he's going to go on. He goes unblockable the last 25%. So you just cheese him in the corner to get through it at the end. All right, next, this is where Rhino shines. I'm sure you've all seen people doing it with a 2-star, but I did bring in a 455 Rhino when I did it earlier today. Again, when you are dashing in, you are going to be getting, at least on this fight, you're going to be getting healing for yourself and heal reversal against the opponent. So you just have to remember what I was doing a lot in this fight is I would parry, dash back, dash forward in order to trigger the unstoppable. If you just try and attack right in, you are not going to get the unstoppable. So you have to, you're going to have to, I keep dashing back and in again. So parry, dash back, dash in, and then you're getting a combination of the heal reversal and the healing for you. So normally against Electro, you're taking a bunch of unavoidable damage, and then in this case, you're getting that healing back. And then he has arc overload every few seconds, so as long as you make sure that you've got your heal reversal going when that picks up, then he drops, and it's just a matter of playing the same game. He's got unblockable specials, so I highly suggest, I'm terrible at evading special 2. I could, but it's so easy to die instantly from that, so I just stick with the special 1. So now we just do this dance for the entire fight, and he goes down. So I will see you on the next fight. Okay, next we have this Drax. I forgot to put the nodes in, but basically, if you nullify, if a villain nullifies the opponent, he gains passive like precisions there. So Doom was an easy choice. I basically just constantly heavy him, make sure he's got the stagger up, so that every time he throws a special and gains a buff, it's nullified, and I get it, and it's just easy Doom fight after that. There's really nothing too exciting about this boss, but yeah, Doom just shreds him. So we'll see you for the next one. Next, we got the new Daredevil Hell's Kitchen, and I'm proud of this one. So, the main thing to realize on this one is he's got biohazard, and that's really all I was thinking about. And he shrugs off your initial parries, and it can be very, very frustrating to get openings against him. So I used Apocalypse early on one fight, made Storm Pyramid X a horseman, and now watch what happens when he tries to if he tries to passively like if he tries to purify my stuns, boom, he gets a passive stun instead. So all you got to do on this fight is if you use Storm Pyramid X, he's not going to be able to shrug off your stuns, which makes fighting him so much easier. You do have to get used to his ridiculously long new animation, but after that last punch you can go in. Here, the only thing with Storm X as any mutant as a horseman has bleed resistance. So actually, anytime I hit and I get a bleed, I'm actually healing from the bleed instead of taking it. The only mistake I make is I accidentally hit him once in his block, and I get a poison that almost takes me out. But luckily, I had enough in it to finish the fight. But other than that, like biohazard, you're taking bleed on hits and blocked hits, you can get poisoned, so don't do that. But look at this massive damage on the special too. I think the node also has increased damage for bleeds, poison, shocks from the from villains, and Storm Pyramid X is a villain. So this works out great. I probably should have saved for another special too, which I think I do after this. But I think at one point you'll see I do hit into his block by mistake, and I almost lose my entire health bar in like a second. But it finishes off okay. Again, it's great when, see there, that one hit triggered a poison, and now I'm like, oh god, I'd really like to get this one done in a solo. And there we go, another passive stun. Wait for him to throw his special here, and let's finish him off. Special 2, massive, and he's down. So I was pretty happy with that plan, and it came together perfectly. Last but not least, we have Joe Fixit. So basically, villains, again, if they get unstoppable, you have the regen, and if you have the armor break, then I think you can basically just shut him down. So again, Magneto works perfectly for him. So here I'm gonna build up to a special 2, drop the armor break, and then he's basically it is passively power locked for the entire fight. And plus, if If I throw the Unstoppables, I'm getting healing back. So Magneto's just all over this variant. He's awesome. I'm sure there's some other tricky fights throughout the paths. I haven't done it 100% yet, so maybe there'll be some other fights that we'll look at later. But for now, you can take a look at all the boss fights, and good luck with your completion, and hopefully you get some nice rewards out of those. Have a good one, guys. See you next time.